Hey man, get your headphones
I
on.
know. Okay.
We do this all the time.
All right.
You're
All right.
supposed to sit down.
Well,
See, I'm all
tell me when you're
dressed.
doing shit instead
I'm
of
dressed. Well, look at me. I'm dressed in
Is
really.
the sound on?
Oh, see, you screw up one time and you don't turn the sound on. But hey, it's movie night. We're going to
Yep.
talk about some movies. We did baseball movies last time, our top 10 or so,
10-ish.
10ish.
There's a lot of them.
So we thought about let's do sports movies that are not baseball because there's 275 baseball movies, but there's not that many of the others that are worthy of being
Every other sport.
our favorite
Every
movies,
other
or
sport.
not maybe not favorite, but the movies that we feel are the top 15 sports movies of all time.
Yes.
So hang tight, come on back in, we'll talk movies. And welcome back to the Midnight Riders podcast. I'm Johnny.
I'm Chuck.
He's still studying.
I'm still looking at my notes. Can't read my own writing.
We're going to be doing sports movies here. We told each other, we did baseball movies last time. There were just so many you could do an entire show on those, and we did. And it turned out pretty well.
Yep.
So we thought we'd do a quick one of, or maybe not so quick, of movies that are sports related but not baseball, and it took a little bit of research. We're going to go top 15, and we don't know. I don't know what he wrote, and he don't know what I wrote.
Nope.
So we're going to go into this blind. If we match up, we'll tell which number they were at. But let's do this, my man. Let's start at number 15.
15?
You want to go first? You want me to?
I'll go first because it's probably not on your list. So I'm
Well, how do you know it's not on my list?
Because it's a movie that's...
You're a connoisseur.
Because it's not that great of a movie, but I really liked it. It was one of the early movies I watched. It's,
Ah,
North Dallas 40.
See, I had it.
Did you?
I had it because it's a good movie.
Yeah.
It really depicts the good things in the locker room.
Right. That's why I liked it. I mean, it was one of the first sports movies I remember watching. And
Well-
it just always stuck in my head.
Well, Mac Davis. I mean, come on now.
Mac Davis and Nick
Nolte.
Nolte with the knee injuries and all the stuff that they went through with that. I love that movie. I'll watch it every time. It don't come on much anymore, of course, but
It's hilarious
Yeah.
in a lot of places. It's real in a lot of places.
yeah.
It just is. It's a good movie. I had it in my list and it didn't make the cut.
Yep.
So what'd you like about it?
As a kid watching it, it just seemed, I guess the word's gritty. It made it.
Yeah.
It made you feel like that's what being in the locker room.
Yeah.
That's what making the football team, shooting yourself up with needles,
Right.
to play through the pain. It
Well,
didn't matter.
Yeah,
I
that's what was
I
so.
love that feeling.
Yeah, it was one of the first sports movies where you felt like you were part of the team.
Right. Yeah.
You saw all the stuff and it made you
Yeah.
feel like you're part of that team. And by golly, this is how it is. So if you want to continue through sports through high school, this is what you're going to have
Yeah,
to suffer
you got
through.
it.
Yeah, you get women,
Suck it
and
up.
yeah, people love you, and but you got to do all of this to get on the field.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I just
I agree.
I love that feeling.
I agree. Good movie.
So, yeah.
All right, number 15 for me, I put Brian's Song. Yeah, just
Come on.
simply because it again, I watched it as a kid, the one with
Yeah.
Billy D. Williams and James Caan, not the new one.
Ah, man.
I remember it so vividly because, again, it showed the camaraderie of athletes. It showed
Yeah.
the team spirit. It showed helping each other out. Back before they were multi-billionaires playing football, they played because they loved the game. They played their hearts out, and whenever players played injured, and then the cancer comes in, and he's it's not your
Kidding.
it's not your feel good movie of the world.
Yeah, no, it's like watching the Lou Gehrig story.
I know.
You know how it's going to end.
But it was
yeah.
but they depicted it so well. I'm a big James Caan fan, and it just stuck with me
Yeah,
through
well,
all those years.
Yeah, I've only watched it a couple times. And it's never
Well-
too slow for me. I
Well,
just never,
and the football scenes themselves were done very well, and it just made you again feel like
Yeah.
you're part of the team and part of what's going on.
Yeah.
So that was my number
yeah,
15.
yeah,
So
yeah.
what do you got number 14?
Number 14, I have got Blue Chips.
I never saw it.
Really?
Never saw it.
Oh, man.
I never saw it. I like Nick Nolte. but I
It-
never saw the movie. So what is it?
The underbelly of college athletics, and when they start, he depicts a Bobby Knight type character.
So they show all the cheating and all the
Yes,
giving them money and
that's
stuff.
the whole deal behind it. He like I say, he's a Bobby Knight type coach.
Right.
Screams, yells, old school ways. He's
Well,
getting,
I can see Nick Nolte doing that.
He's doing old school stuff with the new breed that's coming on,
right.
and he's losing, and he's losing, and he's losing.
Isn't that the one that Shaq's
That's in Shaq, Penny Hardaway, Matt
Okay.
Nover, and then here come the boosters, and all of a sudden he's getting a couple of these players. He doesn't realize how he's getting these players. And then it starts to come out. How all of a sudden now you've got the 5 top prospects in the entire country all coming to your school.
And he doesn't know they're getting paid?
He didn't know at the beginning.
Oh, jeez.
And then, then he starts learning it, and then, he kind of ignores it a little bit. And then
So the boosters are doing it behind his back
Yes.
at the beginning?
yes,
Is the AD involved?
yeah, yes,
Okay.
everybody's involved.
So it's just like it was in the 70s and 80s.
Exactly. That's why I liked him. You need to watch that movie because it's very Nick Nolte does a great job.
Mercy.
And then I'm not going to give it away. It's an old movie, but
Yeah.
the ending of it, or not the ending, but the close to the ending of it's when he's in a press conference
Yeah.
and somebody asks him something along the lines of, "How do you think you're going to do next year?" or "Did you pay somebody?" or whatever.
Right.
And his lines of, "Well, of course we did. How else do you think we're going to get them all?"
Oh, good.
Just ask whatever the guy's name is. Just ask him how many cards did it cost you to get this guy here. It's awesome. It's a great movie.
So he blows the doors off.
Yes, it's
Fantastic.
wonderful movie.
Okay.
Yeah, I love it.
I might have to watch it.
Yeah,
now.
you need to watch that.
Number 14 for me, I went with Rocky 2.
Rocky. Oh man, I almost put that one on here.
And the only
I almost put it on there.
Rocky 2, I don't usually like sequels.
No, I don't either.
This one carried the story on very well. Mm-hmm. And what I liked about it is they didn't focus only on Rocky. They focused on Apollo and Apollo's need to beat him.
Yeah,
I want to beat him good. Last time I didn't beat him good.
right.
He wasn't supposed to go 15, and so I need to beat him again. And it showed the inner fight amongst his entourage about his people. You don't want to fight this cat again. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
And it showed both Rocky's struggle and Apollo's struggle, and it just carried on a good. It continued the story very well for me.
Yeah, no, I love that movie.
You
I
didn't have it in yours at all?
I didn't have Rocky 2 in it.
Okay.
I got a Rocky in here. I just
Good.
not 2.
Good.
I had the first 3 Rockies on my list.
Yeah.
But I had to break them down.
Okay.
So,
I
yeah.
say, that was just good for me.
Yeah.
And it just carried the story on well. So.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
What do you got at 13?
13. Now, this is one I'm probably pretty sure you don't have
Uh-oh.
because it's kind of off the beaten path. Just a little bit's the program.
Again, I know of the movie, didn't watch it.
But it's another one, kind of like Blue Chips.
Is it football?
It's football.
Okay.
Like the underbelly of college football.
Mm-hmm.
Steroids, paying players, playing through the pain, having a guy who's, he's coming to his junior or senior year and he's not done much of anything. Nobody's looking at him.
Right.
Finds steroids. He puts on 40 pounds of muscle. Has a serious
How
attitude
long
issue.
was this one made?
Oh,
Are these high school kids or college kids?
it's college.
Okay.
It's
okay.
college. I
okay.
think I want to say it's an 80s movie.
Right. Anybody big in it?
Yes. Who the head coach? Dang it! Now I'm going to have to look it up. Sorry. Pardon me.
Wow, he wasn't prepared.
I wasn't waiting for that question.
Hey, I remember when the movie came out,
Yes.
and it's one that I just never got around to
it's
watching.
It's James Caan. That's what I thought.
Yeah, yes it is. Yes it is.
93.
He's the coach.
Yeah.
So it's
that one is a very good movie because it, again, like the Blue Chips, James Caan kind of knows it's happening, but doesn't want to acknowledge it because his guys are playing real well.
Well, and see, there
then it
again,
starts
if it
coming
came
through.
out in the 90s, that was right after all the big college football bullshit, and so that's,
Yep.
I can understand it.
Yep.
Was why it was. I just didn't want to watch it. I just didn't have time. There's just so many movies out.
Yes.
I have limited time.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Yeah, no, that was one of the ones when I was looking at lists, I had forgotten about that movie. I remember being in the 90s, that was a...
well, my first thing when I started making my list, for those out there, if you want to give us a comment on yours, we'd love to have it, I just started writing down movies that I remember
Right.
that are in here that I remember. And by that time, I had 20 or so,
Yeah,
and so I didn't go dig for anything else that I didn't remember. If I didn't remember it, it wasn't worthy enough to put on my list. So that one I know of, I didn't ever go watch.
Yes.
So my number 13 is Dodgeball.
They're on my list.
And
They're
yes-
higher, they're higher up.
That is a sports movie.
Yeah.
Where'd you get them?
I had them at number 9.
Okay.
That's a great movie.
It's a great movie. I mean, everything about it's just. I mean,
Quotable, dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. I mean,
it's funny. It takes something that we all grew up with, it's dodgeball. Every time you heard the ping on the movie, you felt it. Vince Vaughn is great. I mean, of course, Ben Stiller.
Ben Stiller.
I mean, come on. Over the top is there. And then Rip Taylor, and I mean, my gosh,
I mean, even the little cameos with Jason Bateman and this.
Jason Bateman and Gary Cole.
Oh.
They just blow me away. They just blow me away. He will not be able to see very well, Cotton. Come on, man. The movie itself is great.
Yes.
I had it higher on my list, and then I had to kind of bump it because of this. It's a comedy and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but I got a couple of those, and that's what I was telling you. I got a
It's-
couple of them that aren't. They are, but they aren't.
It's in. I had to get it in there. It's at number 13 because it is a sport.
Sure, it is. Yeah, it is.
is a sport.
Yeah.
It's on the Ocho, man.
Yeah.
Gotta love it. Who do you got at number 12?
Number 12, I've got Friday Night Lights.
I've got Friday Night Lights at number 7.
Yeah, good movie, great. Again, there's a pattern to a lot of the movies I like.
Right.
This is the
The behind the scenes.
behind,
I mean,
the craziness of Texas football, the craziness of high school football,
and it's real.
And-
I mean,
yes.
this movie, Billy Bob Thornton in this movie was just probably the best movie I've ever seen him in, and I've seen a lot of I've seen a lot of Billy Bob movies.
yeah,
His portrayal of the coach, just golly, it just blew me away. That's why I didn't like the TV show.
I
when they
didn't
kind
like
of
the TV show that
it
much.
didn't. It wasn't. Well, it wasn't as hard because it wasn't a movie.
right.
But the kids they had playing the parts were just spot on. Tim McGraw, my God.
Yeah, who'd have thought that?
I mean, my God. It was just I mean, I loved it.
They portrayed, like I said, the craziness of what it's like out there.
Of upper level high school football.
Big time college, big
Yeah.
time high school football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the game, the championship game that they played, that they showed. And I don't know if that's how it really went in real life. I don't know.
Right.
I haven't researched it enough, but the way they portrayed it, it was just, my God, it was so good.
Yeah.
The football parts of it were so good. It felt like you were watching the game.
Yes. Every one of them.
Yes.
When he hurt his knee, when he
Yes.
shooting his knee up for a high school kid, and the craziness that that happens or that did happen.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, it's I don't know. It's,
Yeah, but anyway, moving on. My number 12, I had Ford versus Ferrari.
haven't seen it.
I'm a Matt Damon guy.
No.
I'm a Christian Bale guy, so I had to watch it. I don't like F1 racing. I've never been an F1 guy. I'm an IndyCar guy. You got to watch that movie.
Yeah, so I've never seen it.
You got to watch that movie. I wasn't expecting much because it's a racing movie,
That's
but
why
I
I didn't.
tell you what, it opened my eyes to this guy. It's a true story, a story I'd never heard of because I'm not an F1 guy. But I tell you what, man, it is done so well. It is perfectly executed. Everything. If you like anything about racing, just watch it if you
Right.
got time. It's nothing. It was great for me because I like the two actors that were in it. I've always been a Matt Damon guy, and everything Christian Bale's in, it just blows me away.
Yeah,
So, I forgot to put the fighter on here. See, he was in that too.
I haven't seen that either.
Yeah, that one's really, really sad.
Yeah,
So is Brian's song.
That's Brian's
But
song. You got a
Ford,
trend.
Ford versus Ferrari. If you have an opportunity, watch it.
I want to see that.
What's your number 11?
Is that where we're at, number 11? Any Given Sunday.
Never saw it.
Do you watch any other sports movies?
Hey, dude. Hey, dude, I got some on here. Never saw it. Never saw it.
Good movie.
Al Pacino in
Al
it.
Pacino.
Yeah.
Yep. Jamie Foxx.
Yeah. Let me guess. Behind the scenes.
A little bit. Yeah. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah. You got. I can't remember the guy's name. That. Yeah. He's the doctor. The doctor who keeps giving everybody the proper treatment to make sure they keep playing. You got.
Right.
You got a guy playing a Lawrence Taylor type guy. You got a guy.
Okay.
You got Dennis Quaid as the aging quarterback.
Dennis Quaid.
And exactly, and Jamie Foxx as the rookie up and coming quarterback, and it's really
So is the team inner turmoil? Or
Yes.
Is it, okay.
yeah.
So does Pacino whoop anybody's ass as coach?
Yeah. Early on, and then again,
Really?
really starting to notice it.
Yeah,
Trend on my
it's a
stuff.
pattern over here.
But yeah, but once Pacino starts finding out again, they're losing 3 or 4 losing seasons in
Right.
a row.
He finds out they're doping him
Finds
up.
out they're doping them up. It's bought a new owner, which is Cameron Diaz, takes over, and
Yeah.
he starts looking to move the team to get them to a nicer location, and
Okay, so she's the female owner who wants to make
almost
it
like a major league type
okay.
thing. But it's got some funny moments in it
Right.
because it's got Jamie Foxx, and it's got some good moments, but the football in it is really good. Some of it's a little over the top,
Oh, sure.
a little bit, but
It's got to be.
it's good football scenes.
But
It's
is
a lot of
But is it Pedro Serrano carrying the bat around the bases? Crazy. No.
there is an eyeball that hits the field at one
Oh,
time. So I
geez.
mean, you take
Take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah,
so.
exactly.
All
But
right.
the majority of the scenes are really good and it's really well done. So
Number 11 for me, I went with The Wrestler.
that's my number 10.
Oh, that's your number 10.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. I'm not a big Mickey Rourke fan.
I don't like
But-
Mickey Rourke. Everything I've ever seen,
Yeah.
he makes me extremely uncomfortable.
Yes, he's very, very
Everything he's been in, I avoid it.
Yeah.
But because of my wrestling fandom,
Yeah.
I had to watch it. And I tell you
Yep.
what, I was just Marissa Tomei. I just love everything she's in.
Yeah, she's good.
But
His portrayal.
his portrayal, again, the underbelly of
Yes.
sports,
of what's
they
going
did it so well.
on. Yeah.
And watching him be, like we've seen wrestlers do it our entire lives. I want one more match.
Just give me another shot.
I
Yeah.
can't not go out there and hear the people yell for me. That's what I live on. It's my
Yeah.
drug. And of course, you see him shooting up with everything to keep his body to where he is. Then at the end,
what they did.
At the end, he jumps off the ropes and and it's over.
Yeah.
And I don't like the fact that's one thing I don't like was the ending where they
that was
make us determine what happened.
what happened to him. Yeah, I didn't like that. But the movie itself
Oh.
was very,
Oh,
very well, very dark. I mean, in
Yes.
my opinion, very dark movie.
yes,
But-
very dark, and it was meant to be.
But right.
This guy, a lot of these wrestlers back in the day, that's what they did. Their life was going from town to town for 20, 30, 40 bucks a night, living in their car, drinking every night so they don't feel the pain to go wrestle again tomorrow night, But great movie. If you haven't seen it, great movie.
Yep.
What do you got at number 10?
That was my number 10. So what do you got?
Oh, my number 10 is Hoosiers.
Ooh, 10?
Number 10.
They were my number 3.
Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah. I really like that.
Wow. I put it at number 10 just because it's a little I love Gene Hackman. Everything
that was
he's
a big,
in.
That was a big
I love
pull
him.
for me.
Based on a true story thing always works for me. It was a good movie. I really loved it. I love the story. I love the acting. I love everything about it. It's just I had 9 more that just sit in my head a little harder.
Yeah.
I just did.
Yeah. No, I love this. I love the story of it.
Yeah.
The small town school and the
Sure.
measuring the court and
Oh, sure.
the whole
The
whole concept behind it
right.
was really good.
Well, it was done. It was done based on a true story.
right at the time.
And
it was a period timepiece. I like that.
you only got 4 guys on the court. My team's on the court.
Yes.
How many times have my team's on the court?
And all you do is think of Dad.
Yeah, exactly.
They're all out there.
Yeah, that
Every one of them.
blow the whistle. Let's go.
Yes.
All right, so that was my number 10.
Yeah.
That was your number 3.
Yeah.
All right, what do you got at number 9?
Number 9. We're gonna start matching up here. My number 9 was Dodgeball.
Oh, number 9 is Dodgeball. Okay, what's your number 8?
Number 8 was Longest Yard, the original Longest Yard.
See, I put Longest Yard at 6.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
That was one of, again, kind of like North Dallas 40. That was one of my first memories of a sports movie.
Yeah.
And
Oh, beautiful.
God, it was so good.
Well, I put them both. I put both of them up there because it's basically the same story.
Yeah. Both the Longest Yards.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, because they're just.
It's another remake that was done well.
It was done well.
Really good.
Well, I like the remake because it had all the wrestlers
Right.
and all the star. I mean, I'm not an Adam Sandler fan at all,
See, I like Adam Sandler.
but the movies were. I love the fact they brought Burt Reynolds back
Yes.
and let him play the
Yeah.
the other role. It was a great. The first one was just. I mean,
No,
I saw it as a
I was
teenager.
gonna say I had never, and to this day, I still hadn't seen anything that really replicates
No,
whatever that brought out.
no, and like I say, in the experience I had as a referee, actually refereeing prison games, it just resonated. It just resonated with me when I was refereeing those. Of course, I'd already seen the movie, but it was just such a good movie. Everything about it's good. Is it hokey? Sure. Are there things in there that you think are little quirky? Yes, but boy, I tell you what, it's done so well. Both of them, they're just done so well.
The comedy was really on point, but it was also such a serious.
Yes,
It was a serious movie, but
Yes.
the comedy was dead on. But
because you go from serious to comedy,
Yeah.
from serious to comedy, from it just went back and forth, and it just
one of my favorite movies.
it just
That
kept you
was one
going.
of my favorites.
What was that, number 8?
That was my number 8.
Well, my number 9 is Slapshot.
That was my number 5.
Okay.
We're gonna start matching up here.
Yeah. Number 9, I got that at number 9,
Yeah.
and it's just kind of dated for me.
Slapshot?
Yeah,
What we're talking about?
I got it at number 9. Simply because I got 8 more that I think are a little better, to include Longest Yard and Friday Night Lights.
Right.
But Slapshot, it's just fun. It's just fun. Again, it's the minor leagues. It's guys they're never going to probably play in the bigs, and they're just trying to go from town to town to make enough money to keep playing. They just want to go out there and play every night. And
Hanson Brothers. Just
absolutely.
that's it. That movie, that's what made it for me.
Sure.
Was the Hanson Brothers.
Well, and back in the day though, you could see that really happening.
Yes.
Because the only way to sell tickets, but years and years and years ago, we had a hockey team here in Oklahoma City, and nobody would go. Nobody'd go until they started having fights.
Yeah. Till they brought it in
And-
pulse the team, and that's all they did was fight.
They fight,
Yeah.
and so people go. But hockey, I love watching hockey in person. I love it. Watching on TV is impossible, so I can't really get into it. But Slapshot, if anybody out there's never seen it,
It's making me laugh now.
you gotta watch it. It's funny.
Old.
Again, it's funny and it's serious.
Yes.
And it's funny and it's serious. You go back and forth. You got Paul Newman, who's just so good in it, and there at the end where the guy starts dancing to the music, and
Because
and
he's tired of doing all the fighting.
he's
putting on the
tired of
show.
fighting. It just
Wants to go back to playing hockey instead of
the
putting
whole
on
movie.
show.
It's a great movie. I got it at number 9. You had it at number 5.
number 5.
Did you did your number 8 was The Longest Yard. My number 8 was Rocky 3.
That's my number 7.
Yeah, yeah. So what do you think of that one?
Oh, it's got Mr. T in it. I mean, the story they put together, which after the first 2 Rockies with Apollo, I just thought it was really cool to put Apollo with Rocky
Yes.
and bring in, and it was as far as movies goes, it was believable.
Yeah.
Mr. T did a really good job
Yeah.
of being an asshole.
Because they gave him limited lines.
Yes, they let him do what he could do.
And he did it. Now, I will say the boxing scenes with Mr. T were a little weak.
Yeah,
Yeah, he just did the whole lot of dancing, and and Rocky did all the jabs, and it didn't look as good as the first 2.
not as good as Apollo. Not as good as the Apollo fights.
Right, but Apollo,
But-
you kill Mickey, which you had to do,
Yeah,
and then
having him train with Apollo.
Yes.
Go back and train with his team.
yes,
It was great.
well, it
I
just
saw that one in the theaters. It was
Yes.
tied together. It was
what made it for me was the fact that Apollo knew he could be better. Apollo knew he could train him up to do this, and what it did for me, when Apollo would just stay on him and stay on him and stay on him and just get in his face and yell at him, and the beach scene,
The beach race.
we're racing down there, and then he just quits, and Apollo's you could just see the anger about you felt the anger.
You felt the aggression. It was
You did.
great.
Come on, Henry.
Yeah.
You don't want to come
No,
over here?
that Rocky 3 is my favorite of the. That's us. I had the first 3 in here somewhere. Rocky 3 is my favorite Rocky movie.
All right, so you got Rocky 3 at number 7.
Yep, number 7.
Okay. Did you do number
I
6?
have not done number 6.
Give me your number 6.
My number 6 is The Replacements.
That's my number 2.
Yeah.
That's my number 2. That falls under several different categories for me. Number 1, sports movie. Number 2, guilty pleasure. Number 3, another Gene Hackman movie. Keanu Reeves movie.
I love Keanu Reeves. But all of them. I mean, every character there was not a bad character in that movie. I don't think.
No.
Every character they had
Played the part.
perfect.
Played the part.
Did it right.
Again, a little bit of serious, a whole lot of comedy.
Yeah.
A little bit of serious, a whole lot of comedy. The quarterback, the starting quarterback that they replaced, I forget his name in the movie. Martell. I mean, he played it so well.
Yeah.
An extremely unbelievable movie. But boy, I tell you what, it's a great movie.
It's a great movie.
It's a great movie.
I'll watch it every time it's on.
It's a
Every
great
time.
movie.
It's
It is.
funny.
It's so good.
Oh God.
And we may do a cast on this later about actors who portray sports people and you actually
Make it
believe
believable.
they could be that Keanu Reeves is a quarterback.
I was gonna say he does a good job.
Keanu Reeves is a
Yeah,
quarterback.
he looked good.
He looks the part. Now I think his shoulder pads are a little big, but he looks the part. He throws well. He
moved.
Wow.
Yeah, he did. He really did.
I mean,
Yeah.
wow.
And there's not a lot of bad football in that movie.
No.
The
Well, the wide receiver, he's a little flaky. I don't. The defensive guy, the one that's the guy that directs. Can't remember his name now. The guy that directs all the Avengers movies and whatnot.
yeah.
He's a little over the top for me.
Right. Yeah, the drop kick and fight scene's a little much.
But
still.
yeah. But anyway,
Again, does
good
its
one.
purpose. Yeah, that was my number 6.
Number 5.
Mine was Slapshot. So
Mine's Rocky, the original.
Okay. Yep.
I got the original Rocky for no other reason than it was groundbreaking. It was harsh. It was dark. It was shot so well, cinematically. It showed the dark streets of Philadelphia. It showed the underbelly. It showed it was just everything about it I thought was great.
Yeah, it was a great movie. It didn't make my list. That's just because I couldn't put 3 Rocky movies on my list. I
had to because I had some that didn't make it, and we'll go over a few of those at the end. But I have it I have it in my top 5 simply because I think it was a groundbreaking sports movie.
Yeah.
It's why I have it so high, and I really enjoyed it when I first watched it. It was everything.
It was an early one. Yeah.
It was good. So, what's your number 4?
Number 4, Remember the Titans.
That's my number 3.
Yeah. Yep.
What do you got? What 4?
Oh, man.
Talk to me.
Denzel does a great job.
When does he not?
But football in that era, in that time, I know this was based on a true story also.
High school athletics at that time.
I don't know how much of I'm sure a lot of the turmoil was real. I like to think it was real like that.
Right.
And they think they did a good job of showing it without.
They kept it PG.
I know it was a Disney movie.
They kept it
which
PG.
is why. But they showed enough racism and enough reality
Right.
to not go too far over the top.
Well, you didn't.
But you could see it.
You wanted kids to watch this so they could understand how bad racism it was, and how it's not acceptable, and how we can come together on a sports field We can be one. If this is how you have to learn to be one, well, then do it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure it was a lot worse than they depicted in the movie.
Sure.
You know, I'm sure the languages was a lot more harsh than it was in the movie. They wanted to keep it G or PG, and they did a great job.
Yeah.
They depicted it so well. The movie is so good.
Oh, and there's so much of it that, like I said, I would like to think it was real. The putting them in dorms together
Yep.
on the trip. Him being a hard ass
Yes.
with all of them, and
Yes.
he was a hard ass with both races.
Right.
He was like I said, he's
Right.
the same asshole with the
Sure.
white players and with the black players. It was
Sure,
just-
and it showed the white
just-
coach trying to be soft on the black players.
right.
And the coaches had the conflict, you know, and then one coach quits, and then, you know, some of the kids, one of the kids is so racist he just can't do it anymore.
Right.
And some of the others say we're going to have to get into this. I mean, in any movie where Ryan Gosling is not successful, I'm going to watch. And the whole movie, which it's just a feel good movie. There were sad parts, there were bad parts, there were good
sad
parts.
But if you watch that movie and when he pulls his defense to the side
Mm-hmm.
and tells them he don't want them to gain another yard,
Mm-hmm.
if you don't get goosebumps, you're not watching the damn movie the right way.
That's right.
If you don't feel good about that,
Well, when Yost calls timeout,
yeah,
and he calls the referee over.
yeah,
You know what he probably said in real life.
oh yeah,
You know, it wasn't said there.
right.
You know, and it is just done so well, which is why I've got it at number 3.
Yep.
You got it at number 4.
My number 3 was Hoosiers, so
My number 4 is Miracle.
no, that's my number 2.
That's my number 4. It was just, again, it's about the USA hockey team that beat Russia and won the gold in the '80 Olympic, and it's
80, yep.
the whole. Do you want to come up here or not? Come on. What? Henry doesn't know if he wants to come up here or not.
That was my number 2.
That's my
And-
number 4. That's my number 4 because it's
Well, it's my number 2 because I remember it so vividly. It's one of my early sports memories that I remember because Dad let me stay home from church
right.
that day
Right.
because I wanted to watch I wanted to watch it, and I was allowed to stay home that day, sitting in my bed watching this
Right.
Olympic hockey thing. That's
Right.
how big it was. The
Sure.
Olympics were back then.
Sure.
He let me stay home and watch it. And I
Well, because
remember
it was still
vividly.
played by kids.
Yeah, it was one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite sports memories. And when they made the movie, had to see the movie. Kurt Russell does a great job.
He's incredible.
Perfect for that. He did that role so perfect.
He's incredible.
Yeah.
And well, the kids they had that played the roles in the hockey.
Yeah,
You know, him being the asshole that Herb Brooks became to these kids just to make them better. You know, the epitome of a great coach. And he didn't want any fanfare. He didn't want any pomp. I'm here to win.
right.
And that's my job, and I did my job. Now the kids won the game. Now go, you know, and to show everything these kids went through to get to where they did, and to beat the team. You know, I watched a couple of documentaries on it, and
Yep.
you know, when you watch the documentaries and you talk to the Russian guys were in awe of how much these kids took it to heart. And it just made me want to go watch the movie again, to watch them build it up again, and it made me cry again. You know, the movie's just. If you've never seen it again, it's another Disney movie that they did a good sports take on, and any kid can watch it. And if you just want a good, heartfelt, work your ass off, if you want to be good at sports, this is one you need to watch.
Yeah. And I like it. If you watch, like I said, you watch the documentaries. What I really like about it is when you go back and see the documentaries on it, they took it down to the celebration, they made it identical
Yes.
to I'm
Yes.
talking placement of the skaters,
Yes.
placement. They took this down to the
Yes.
person.
Yeah. And then they didn't use real footage. They told
Yes.
these actors, we're going to watch these until
Yes.
you do it. Just now, they did use Al Michaels' voice,
Sure.
the recorded
You gotta have
voice,
Al
to
Michaels'
have
voice
that.
on there.
But for him to go, the skaters were perfect. The guys
Yes.
were in the same places. The guy
It
were
was
moving.
incredible.
It's amazing. So
Yeah.
if you've never
Loved it.
seen it, you got to watch it.
Loved it. It was my 1 and 2 were mixed. I really went back and forth making that my number 1, but I
Yeah. Well, number 1, I think we both got the same one because neither one of us has mentioned it.
didn't. Probably so. Tin Cup.
That's my number 1.
Yeah, buddy.
That's my number 1.
One of the best movies out there.
The way they bring in real golfers.
Yeah.
Um,
And the frustration of golf.
the extreme frustration of golf. And the the unbelievably real ending.
Yes.
You know, you think that he's going to be okay. You think he's beat it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to crater. I'm not going to go off the deep end. By God, I'm going to do it right. He gets to the final and then he just loses it.
Mm-hmm.
And when I first saw the movie, I was a little bit upset with that ending. Because, he just, they showed he's better. He got better. But then for a split second, I said, wait a minute. He's never going to get better. We knew he wasn't going to get better.
I liked the ending because for once it wasn't one of those movies that you
Right.
kind of knew, okay,
Exactly.
he's going to hold this out and he's going to win the championship.
Exactly.
And awesome, great. But they didn't. They made his second round be the big round that he had.
Yes.
And then he cratered.
Then he craters at the very end.
Awesome.
Cheech Marin was the best, one of the best number 2 men in a movie ever.
Yeah.
In this movie.
Yeah.
Costner, of course, is Costner. He can take a sports movie and make it great,
Best sports
except
movie
for Love
actor.
of the Game. But what Cheech did, playing off of him and being that little asshole.
Just that little bit of
That always just is
Yeah.
just that gnat that's always
Yeah.
there. But McAvoy needs him there.
right.
That's why he is who he is.
And Don Johnson.
Don Johnson.
Johnson, perfect.
Oh,
Biggest asshole there is.
Don Johnson. His condescending the look whenever he goes in the bar. Hey, nice number you put up there. I mean, my God. And then the announcers out there on the court. I think he's going to hit it off the shitter. It's just incredible. The whole movie was done so well. I mean, it was everything about it. I mean, it's one of those movies that I laughed so hard, and then you feel bad in a couple of places.
You feel bad for him, but then you feel bad, but then you start thinking, "No, you deserve it.
He deserves every bit of it."
You're a dumbass.
He's done it to himself.
When he breaks every club in his bag.
His entire life has been because of him.
Yeah.
This is your cause,
Yeah.
and that's why the ending works.
Yes.
For
The ending was perfect.
for a split second, I was saying, "Wait a minute, what the hell?" But then it just made so much sense.
I love that ending.
It just made so much sense. It was
perfect. For
it
that
was
movie.
it was perfect, and then
You're not you haven't fixed yourself.
No.
This is why you're doing what you're doing.
this is who you are. Yeah. He gets the girl. And he's automatic qualifier for next year's Open.
Yeah.
And so you don't know if he's going to go or not.
I'm just really glad they haven't remade this movie.
I don't think that this is one they don't need to remake.
It's up there. It's right behind probably Bull Durham.
I think they could make it a part 2 and have him come back.
Go on.
He's been on a 12-year bender and he's going to come back and try to get
Right.
back and all that kind of shit.
I don't want to try to remake it.
I'd buy it, but
yeah.
But that's our top 15. Did you have some honorable mentions?
I had a few.
What do you
I
have?
had about 3 of them that I just couldn't get them on there. I had Ali.
I didn't like that one.
Yeah,
That was too. That
I
was.
liked the story.
It was
a little too long for
It's
me.
too
but
political for me.
yeah.
I didn't get into that.
I went back and forth with this because some people consider it a sports movie.
What was that?
Caddyshack.
I had it on here too, but I just couldn't do it.
I couldn't do it.
I couldn't do it.
I love the movie.
It's more of a slapstick
But it's
comedy for
more of
me.
a-
I don't. There's not enough golf in there. Of course, the last bit where the last match where the kid is really nervous.
Yeah.
And, and Chevy Chase is screwing with him the whole time. Yeah, that's
Right.
okay.
I had,
What else?
I had 2 more. I had We Are Marshall
I had We Are Marshall.
and I had Jerry Maguire.
Ooh, I forgot about Jerry Maguire. I had All the Right Moves.
Man, I forgot about that one.
That was
I liked that movie. That was another
a good high school
Yes.
movie. I liked it. Was a young Tom
early
Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
It really showed. It showed the dark side of high school football too, where the kid, if you hadn't seen it, it's where he had a scholarship sitting up and he screws up and it's a good little movie for a high school.
Yeah, that was
Type
I forgot
movie.
about that movie.
I
That's a good movie.
had a Cinderella Man,
Never seen it.
which I'm not. I've never been a huge Russell Crowe guy. I loved him in
Who
a
who was that movie based on?
um, dead silence is always bad. On
What the
on
hell?
show.
Just ask the
I
question.
can't remember who it is.
I gotta look it up.
As soon as you say it, I'm going to say I
Yeah.
know. But the movie itself was done extremely well. The story was great. It was just really,
James Braddock.
Jim, yeah. It was just really slow, and but the story itself worked. It was a good enough movie to have in my top 20, 25, but I
It's
just
kind of how I felt about Raging Bull.
Right.
I liked the movie,
Right.
the Jake LaMotta story.
right.
But it was just, I mean, the boxing scenes were brutal.
It just didn't.
But-
It just didn't. Well, but see, they went for
Yeah.
the extra brutal just so it'd be a better movie,
Right.
in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, and I had one more,
What'd you have?
Karate Kid.
Did you really? I love the movie. I just didn't think of it as a. Sorry, guys, I didn't think of it as a sport. But
Ooh. No, I mean it was just a fun little movie.
Oh, it
I mean,
is.
it was
It's
a
a great
fun little
movie.
movie.
if you're talking guilty pleasure movie, that's one of mine.
It's a fun little movie. But no, that was a good little list. I like
Yeah.
that. That was entertaining. We're gonna try to do some more of those. We're gonna be coming back with a. I'm gonna have my wife Tina sit in. We're gonna be doing a classic rock albums of the 70s.
70s. Give us ideas.
That means the album had to be released in the 70s, and we're gonna put that cast together and have it posted here pretty soon, and have Tina guest star with us on that one. But we're gonna start trying to do a few more fun things like this and kind of stay off the beaten path of sports when we can. So any other comments of anything you want us to do, throw it down here. We would appreciate it. Subscribe, spread the word. We're going to start getting a little bit more consistent here now that life has slowed down a little bit. We can kind of figure a few things out. So we appreciate you coming in. You got anything?
I don't have anything at all. Say just please subscribe.
Yep.
Spread the word. Get it out there.
All right. We appreciate you, and we will be back. We appreciate your time, and we'll see you soon.
See ya.